Hi guys, this is AJ Crowley's Scattergun, and this time we're going to be playing What Remains of Edith Finch. At least we will if we can work out what the controls are.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
That's odd blackout glitch there.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
That's kind of clever. For those of you who do watch my stuff and have followed my videos in the past,
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
What Remains of Edith Finch is a little bit of a walking
Maybe
simulator.
She thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
In that it's not an action game, it's not a shooter or anything like that. It's a game which you experience and probably don't do much other than walk around and experience the story. Trying to actually see the frog. Missing Milton Finch.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Now we could have gone.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something but never do. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
That's an impressive house. What the hell is that? It's like a dragon.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Okay, I won't ask why we went in the doggy door when we've got a key.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Oh, okay.
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
A recipe for apple pie. I wonder if it's a usable recipe. I'm sure it is.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Is that a bad thing? Maybe. Yeah, lots of cans of salmon. Lots of books. I like it. Although they're all... Oh no. They're not all food. The King in Yellow... now that's a Lovecraftian reference. The Aleph, that's a Borgia's tile. Also spooky and weird. Huh. Okay.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Did that sound like something else inside the house?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
That's a copy of the Necronomicon. Yeah. Metamorphosis, that's Franz Kafka. Okay, maybe I'm just projecting here. I'm guessing, are we Dawn then?
great-grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Yeah, back to the kitchen.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Okay, so what happened? Now that's awesome. It's just a shame that some of the books are backwards. That's a bit wrong. This door has been sealed with, like, expanding foam. And has got a big kind of... Yeah, that's weird. Okay.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
That definitely sounded like something in the house. So we've got a missing brother, a door that's been sealed with expanding epoxy foam. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like, what's the worst that could be going on here? I mean, I like the house and all. I like the books.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
Okay.
Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
There's most definitely something in this house other than us. And that's creepy.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
It's a little bit distracting how the camera will suddenly pan to read the dialogue.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
But the gerbil will, though.
My Halloween candy was all gone. I kept eating and eating.
Ugh. Don't eat toothpaste! That's wrong. That's really messed up. Don't do that.
I ate a lot of things that night.
And that's poisonous. Not sensible. Oh, I'm pretty sure that holly berries is poisonous. I don't think they're very good for you. And don't go anywhere near that.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Okay.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Kitty!
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. was too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What? Okay, I'm having to sort of use the right trigger to jump, because I'm fairly sure that this isn't a natural position for a shark to be in.
I rolled
Ow!
off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
This is rather creepy for a small child to be saying.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Am I still a shark, for instance? No, I'm. That's not a shark. That's. I've got that's a tentacle.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
This is weird.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. Across the water, I smelled a gleam, something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
This is just really all kinds of
I slithered onto the
peculiar.
sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Are we coming out the toilet? Yes, we are. Lovely. This is a little bit vertiginous.
I got closer and closer.
And this is my room.
all my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
That's weird.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Did I just hear a cat?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
Yep.
Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Oop.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Okay, I've been fairly quiet so far. It's this just because this is utterly bonkers. Okay, so this joins a long sort of trail of walking simulators, quotes, like Eastshade, like Dear Esther. It's like, the best way to look at it is almost like choose your own adventure books, but they're not usually involving combat or chases or anything, quotes, exciting. It's just about sort of listening and absorbing the story in any kind of order you want. I mean, looking at this, we're probably going to sort of, I imagine we're going to hit sort of a lot of the bits of this family tree, and we're going to have little stories or something about each of them. I mean, that was really quite creepy as far as interactive stories go. Now, I don't think I actually saw that, did I? So, right.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johann.
So I'm holding the right trigger to swap to the next.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Okay, so I think we're talking eccentric here, given that he put his entire house on a boat.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Well, no one could see that coming, could they?
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay, well, yeah, that's kind of bonkers. Oh, right, there we go.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Yes, I think you could be right there. Clearly, large amount of nutters in the bloodline. Okay, we can't get out of this door because it's one of the bedrooms that's been sealed up with expanding foam. Well, yeah, this is kind of peculiar in a big way. Oh, weekly drugs thingy.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
That'd be what we saw when we were coming into the house. Okay, yeah, alright, that's...
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Wow. Furry pink bathroom.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Which is pretty hideous.
It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah. Okay, another sealed room. Sealed door, rather.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
The blueprints to a house. Maybe this house? I mean, it's very nicely put together. It's very detailed. I think we're going to have to go back out through the window, aren't we? Or not? Can we not get out there? How are we going to get out there? Oh, okay, I see. We've got another secret passage.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Jesus.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Vaguely reminiscent of Hunter S. Thompson. So yes, definitely an eccentric, given that he sort of made a house with all sorts of secret passageways in it. Couple turns land into a native haven. I wonder if that's about the Finches. So it's sort of saving every time we come to a new room. I have heard this game talked about before, fondly as it happens, and I can sort of understand why. It's sort of clearly there's an eccentric family here. It's just a question of sort of what's the end result? Is it as bonkers as it could be? Is it as bonkers as the dream story that Molly put down on paper? Orcas Island Regional High School Cobra Battalion Bravo Company. Samuel Finch. Definitely a bit of a soldier boy.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
I'm liking the way this sort of dialogue comes and then disappears off behind something. It's kind of neat. Oh, I might have jumped a bit here. That's just bonkers. No. Let's go up here first. I'm sure there's something that we've probably not seen.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Depends what it says about you and your family, I suppose.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
I have a feeling he's going to get his way here. We're going to...
Calvin, dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Oh, go.
I told him going around was impossible.
He's going to put himself off a cliff, isn't he?
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe
Yeah.
he'd still be here.
We're going to go off a cliff.
I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to
So I wonder whether we're meant to imagine that he might
The
have...
story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
The kind of eccentricness of this, though, it's almost like, yeah, did he actually manage to fly? Maybe he did. The kind of dreamlike story here.
Funeral. Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
I suppose it's understandable.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
I'm still liking the amount of books this family has.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
And then drowned when he tried to put it on a boat because he's a bit mad.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Okay, let's... I can't tell whether the audio is deliberately trolling me to suggest there's something else in the house, or whether it's lag from the HDMI capture. Back to the living room. So this is where we started off by going in through there. So I'm trying to decide, shall we go back down here because there was something else here before we go up?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Oh dear.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a cable saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
Right.
I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
This isn't going to go well, is it?
For the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Oh dear. Oh, come on, Halloween? Seriously?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Oh, marvellous.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
What a
Barb, relax.
dick.
I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
G'do. Something tells me this is going to go badly. What the hell?
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And really he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
This is going to be some really, really screwed up way of dying, isn't it? Oh, great.
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her.
Ew.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh dear. So that's quite nice. Oh, that's twisted. So sort of mixing the media types here. So you got sort
He
of
told me all Barbara wanted was
sub
to be happy,
games.
as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So I mean that's quite nicely done, you know. Swapping the type of media presentation in sort of as a sub game or sub module of the story. That's kind of cool. I like it. It's all sort of intertwined in a sort of almost non-linear way.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
No, we're not going to go and play with the music box now, are we? Of course we are. So, I mean, there's a story here, and it's kind of cool. I want to get to the end of this. I'm not sure how long the game would normally take to complete, but let's at least try and get to this music box and see if we can get down to the basement. There we go. I mean, the family as a whole is clearly nuts. But, you know, it's just a story. Who knows?
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Huh. Must be a small scale mock-up of the dragon slide that he was trying to build, which fell and killed him. And the table saw that almost took his hand off. Marvellous.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
What the hell?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Oh, it's a bunker.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
And that you're all utterly mad.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
Oh, Jesus.
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now. The longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Oh, what the hell?
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. watching the sun.
What?
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
No, I've got to keep going now. I can't stop at this point. I know it's just game over down there, but...
Like Walter.
Well,
But
you know...
if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's the worst that could be going on here? Just, oh god.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else.
Okay.
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Right. That is completely bonkers. And we've only uncovered, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the family. And there's Milton, Lewis, Gus, Gregory, Dawn, Sam, and Edie to go. And perhaps Sven and Sanjay, but that is just nuts. That's weird. I mean, it's marvellously creepy. And all of these walking simulators now, you know, I let's turn the sound down a bit. So the basic principle behind these walking simulators is experiential games, which I keep banging on about time and time again. It's definitely a sort of it's growing on me as one of my favourite genres of game, I think, now, because it's like it's a serious piece of escapism where you're effectively, you know, reading a story, experiencing the story as it goes, as the game designer intended it. Not quite as the game designer intended it to be experienced, because this is a little linear, but some of the other games like Dear Esther are absolutely non-linear. You can take whatever route you want around the island in Dear Esther, as it were. And apart from some of the sort of action evasion sequences in Observer, that's almost the same thing, in that you're experiencing chunks of story in flashbacks and so on. So I'm definitely coming to really love the genre of these walking simulators, and I think, you know, I'm definitely going to try and include as many as I can in the Scattergun videos. So that was an hour of What Remains of Edith Finch, which is one of the, I suppose you could say it's a better known one of these, but I'm not sure. I mean, I know about it, but how well these get publicised to everyone else who, you know, just plays Fortnite and, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops and so on, you know, it's it's a very different genre to a lot that most mainstream gamers may have seen. So, you know, you can add this to the roster alongside Observer, Dear Esther. Everybody's gone to the Rapture, and so on. And yeah, so that was an hour of What Remains of Edith Finch. That was the Scattergun, where I will play an hour of an almost random game. I say almost random game, and you know, basically just give you a feel for what it is. I mean, I suppose in this case it's a bit of a spoiler. Obviously we haven't got to the end, so there's a lot of story that you can experience yourself if you grab a copy. So this was on Xbox Game Pass, but I know that What Remains of Edith Finch is on Steam as well, so it's not hard to get hold of. And it's a fair old game, I suppose, so it's almost certainly going to be reasonably cheap to pick up. But if you're following my videos and you've seen some of the other games like this I've played, you can also do a search for the Frustratron on YouTube and watch my walkthrough of Observer. You know, take a crack at it and see what you like. So this was the Scattergun for Game Grin on twitch.tv/Game Grin. You can find me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/AJ Crowley. If you do a search for the Frustratron on YouTube or on Facebook, you can find me there. If you go to to frustratedron.com, you'll find links to all my channels and to the YouTube videos. And this one will be uploaded to the Scattergun library, and you'll be able to find this and all the other Scattergun OL shots that I've done. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Check out the other videos on YouTube. Check out and follow Game Grin and my channel on Twitch. You can also find me on Mixer as AJ Crowley, and on Twitter as Frustratron. Leave us some feedback, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, whatever. That was What Remains of Edith Finch, and that was the Scattergun. I will see you in another video. Take care.